to my beautiful caregiver community. My name is Tezzy Gilbert, and I'm your host for OMG, I'm a Caregiver. Today's question came in about placement decision and resources, which was on topic, right? I mean, it's just like on time to have that conversation. Holidays are over. Most people during the holidays tend to keep their loved ones at home for obvious reasons, right? You got family coming, et cetera, et cetera. So now that the holidays are over, you have to get back to work and kids get back to school. So now one of the things that people have been really calling and asking about are adult daycare services, resources for that. I'm going to be giving that to you guys today, as well as just placement in general. So, this is one of the biggest decisions caregivers face, and it's loaded with guilt, right? Our people need practical guidance, and sometimes they even feel like they need the permission to be able to do it. It is filled with a lot of guilt because when someone has to surrender care, then in my experience, they start to feel like they didn't do enough and they could do more. But the truth is that you did do enough. And if you could do more, you would, right? But here's some things to consider when you're thinking about placement. So, safety concerns at home. How many falls has mom or dad had within, let's say, the last month, the last 2 months, the last 90 days? What about wandering, vacation errors? Are you feeling burnout? You can't sustain the current level of care. Oftentimes when we start things out, it always starts out really, really great. And then it gets to a point where it's like, I can't keep it up. Like I started out with a lot of, energy and now I'm running out of steam. So then, you have to consider yourself, your health. Behavioral changes that require 24/7 supervision. There may be dementia at play, right? Alzheimer's. And those things really do, after some point, they require more care than just one person can give. There has to be someone that's constantly awake, that's constantly watching that person, because with dementia and with Alzheimer's, the brain is doing a lot of different things, right? So you have to remember the sleep patterns are going to be off. They're going to be up and down a lot, a lot, a lot. And then you're just not going to be able to keep track. And then sometimes your parents, it may be their decision. They may want to move. If they don't have dementia, sometimes they're able to tell that what is happening with them is starting to weigh on the person that's caring for them. And then they start to feel a bit of guilt. The types of care settings that you can consider: in-home care. This is when a caregiver comes to your home. Sometimes they have living caregivers. That's up to you. Adult day programs. That's part-time supervision plus the activities, which is great. Assisted living. That's oftentimes like an apartment-like setting with meals, activities, and help. However, some assisted livings, they're not apartments. They're like communities where sometimes they may look like a house. You have two types of assisted livings, and a type A and a type B. So it depends on which one. A type A is going to be, for example, like a Brookdale, where there's not going to be very much help there. The people at that community are pretty self-sufficient. They may need some things here and there, but then when they start having, a change of condition, a serious change of condition that requires more attention than what they're used to being provided with, then even some of those assisted livings will be looking for more like a type B assisted living, which means that the level of care has been adjusted or has changed and it has to be adjusted. A type B assisted living is honestly like a step above a nursing home. Okay. It's not quite a nursing home. They still have independence. There is 24/7 care at a type B assisted living. And then you have a nursing home, which is medical care that's 24/7. And that's for basically serious health needs, when there has to be an RN or an LVN at the community at all times. How do you choose? The best thing that I always recommend is just popping in. Don't make an appointment, because you want to be able to see them where they are and what they actually provide, as opposed to them knowing that you're coming. Because like anybody else, if you know someone's coming to your house, you're going to clean up and you're going to make sure that everything is as it should be. Not to say that's not normally what happens, but you're going to put your best foot forward, as you should, but you just have to consider things like that. There's also a site called Nursing Home Compare. Medicare.com or Medicare.gov, where you could actually put in the name of the community and it's going to give you a star rating, which tells you how the state rates that particular environment. And it's also going to tell you if they have any kind of deficiencies and what those deficiencies were in. You should also talk to the current residents and families inside of those communities. If you're passing by, say, hey, how do you like it here? You know, and just see what they think. You can't please everybody. So sometimes, even if it's an amazing environment, sometimes you might have people that might say, I hate it here, and that could be the truth. They could just want to go home. But those things have to be weighed and considered. Like reviews and licensing, which I just told you about, Medicare.gov and then Nursing Home Compare. And then really trust your gut. If it feels off, chances are it probably is. The guilt piece is really important. Placing your parent does not equal abandonment. Sometimes the best care you can give is professional care. You could still be involved. Come visit mom and dad. Call them, advocate for them, let them know that you're still in their corner. They should still feel like you're a part of their life, not you leave them, you drop them off and then you very seldomly come back. I've seen that a lot with people. But your mental health matters too. Burnout caregivers can't help anyone, not even themselves. The financial resources. What does the community accept? Medicare, Medicaid, VA benefits, long-term care insurance, sliding scale communities, which is an income-based community, and then a private pay. Those are going to be your options. So a real world example, this particular person worked with the son who felt like a failure when he brought his mom to an assisted living. He came to see her every day. He felt guilty every single day. And then his mom told him, honey, I'm finally getting sleep. The staff is trained for my dementia. You're here to love me, not to be my nurse. That shifted everything for him. So placement wasn't the end of caregiving. It was a different kind of caregiving, which I love that. That's beautiful. Why do I have what I have up in the background? Well, I have up what I have up in the background because I've been busy. And this is my new library for caregivers. It's called the Caregivers Compass. This is my about page. There's a video that's associated with it that talks about what's inside of the library. It's not just for people who are taking care of senior parents. It's also for caregivers that are taking care of children with autism. I'm building a portion in there for just people with disabilities, a mental health portion. There's also going to be a separate portion in there for caregivers training that will be, you can get a certification through it. Because your home doesn't mean you don't need to be trained on certain things to do with your mom. I mean, you know what you know, but there's some things that you could learn that could help you in your process. And I'm going to have those resources available to you. The other thing that I've added to it is I've added information about partnerships. But we recently just partnered with Be Well Pharmacy. It is a holistic medicine pharmacy. You know about our partnership with Nurse on the Go. Nurse on the Go provides mobile myolymphatic drainage, and it has also recently become a licensed home health company. And they're also offering hydration on the go. And so with that, we just added also Happier Home, which is our partnership with an in-home care team that can come and do in-home caregiving services. So more information is going to be added to my website about Happier Home, Be Well Pharmacy. And then lastly, we've added a Anchor of Wellness kit or program. And I have a kit and I have a program. So our Anchor of Wellness program is powered through Anchor Health Solutions, and it's designed specifically for people like you. So it's resources, it's community, and it's expert support. And so that's currently available through my Caregiver Compass. It's through school, so school.com/the Caregiver Compass. I'm going to be adding that into the description so you guys can jump on and check out my school. Again, more resources to come. And I hope you enjoyed today's topic, which was about placement. And if you have questions, just feel free to reach out to me via email, healthsolutions.org. Until next Tuesday, take care of yourself. You matter. Your health matters. Your peace matters. Your peace of mind matters. I'll see you next week for another Q&A. Thank you for being here. Peace.